Nigerian soldiers at the front line getting the welfare they deserve. Are Nigerian soldiers at the front line getting the welfare they deserve? There's been a lot of stories on our station and in the press and on social media about the conditions of our soldiers in the field. Some of the reports that I've seen have been very distressing. Some of them have been very, very distressing. But in the midst of all of this, the army says that things are actually fine and that what we have is simply a situation of bad news traveling fast. According to the army, it is incorporating over 4,000 new recruits. And that's our big hard fact for today. The army is using this number as proof that things are good, and that more and more young Nigerians are willing to join up and serve. But at the same time, we have soldiers already in the army communicating with the public that some of their conditions leave room for improvement. Now, there's been quite a bit of history with this trend of complaints about armaments and equipment and welfare for the troops. A few months ago, we had the leaked Adeniyi video. Remember, that's Major General Olusegun Adeniyi. At the time, he was commander of Operation Lafia Dole, the operation in the northeast. And he sent a video to the Army Command reporting on the situation. But that video leaked. And here it is.
Video everything.
Yeah,
Video everything.
Yeah, troops injured.
Record me. Good morning, sir. General Adeniyi. Sir, the soldiers are not running. The 3 battalions are standing and fighting, though we have casualties. Since yesterday, we have been met by very strong resistance, more than pockets of Boko Haram. This morning, from every flank, not less than 15 gun trucks are facing us. These people have fired more than 100 RPG at us, and have fired several mortars at us. And they have fired more than 100 RPGs and so many mortars on us. This is the true situation, sir. I'm here on the ground. This is General Buba here, sir. No any general is running or not leading the men. Sir, look at this soldier. They are not running away. Neither is any of them afraid. We are good to go, but here, now these things are working against us.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. I'm standing here with Sector 2 Commander. The armed helicopter have just come over our head. The instruction I gave them, anything moving, they should engage it because most of my gun trucks are not moving. Like I said earlier, we are with the leading MRAPs, and the 3 battalions are fighting and deployed. Nobody is running. But what we have here, I will give you some estimates to guide your good decision, sir. Boko Haram has fired more than 100 mortar bombs at us. They have fired more than 80 to 100 RPGs at us. In addition to more than 8 to 10 gun trucks from every side since yesterday, we have not run, and the soldiers are not misbehaving or disobeying orders. We have casualties. I will come and see you in person on what we need to do, but we are not running. Neither is any soldier misbehaving or running. Sir, if you can look at that, that's one of our MRAP tire that is not run flat, that bullet tore. We have used more than 20 MRAP tires here. That's another one, sir. We have changed close to 250 ELOS tires due to the terrain. This is what we are facing in the Timbuktu Triangle, sir. But we are not running. We are fighting as a system, and we are doing our best to contain the situation and to achieve your mission, sir. Thank you.
Insurgency campaign saying that his men did not have the equipment that they needed. saying their armored personnel carriers couldn't replace their tires and that they were outgunned by the enemy. Shortly after that, Adeni was reassigned elsewhere. So that's a major general. And that was an internal communication that got leaked. He did not intend for the public to see that video, probably. But we also have lower ranked soldiers going public with complaints about welfare, supply, morale. So, for example, there's Lance Corporal Martin Idakbeni. He shot a video. If you're watching on Facebook, we're going to play that video for you as well. He shot a video criticizing the service chiefs by name and complaining about conditions in the army. Hear him for yourself.
Good evening, fellow Nigerians. Good evening, fellow Nigerians. Today is 22 of June 2020. I am Last Corporal Idakbeni Martins, 2011 NA/66 of 8655. I'm from 8 Div Band, Sokoto, Nigerian Army. With me here is the tradition, custom, and ethnics of the Nigerian Army. With this I'm holding, I want to let the Nigerian know that I'm in line with the Army Constitution. I'm not breaking any protocols here. Because in this book, you can see 2005 edition. I want to read what loyalty states here. Loyalty is not only for your subordinate, not only for your junior in the military, most especially in the any constitution and any constitution. The nation, loyalty, the nation, the army, and the chain of command rely on the continuing allegiance, commitment, and support of all who serve. Listen, those who are placed in positions of authority must be loyal. Underline that word. Must be loyal to their subordinates, representing their interests, faithfully dealing with compliance thoroughly, and developing their abilities through progressive training. For their part, that is we, the subordinates, must be loyal to their leaders. I further state, their group and their duty. Such loyalty is expected, but, underline that word, but, it must also be earned. You must earn it through commitment, self-sacrifice, courage, professionalism, decency, and integrity. You have to earn it. You have to show what will make you earn it. Why I must be loyal to you. Now, why I'm reading this is because of the commander I'm under with, which is the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Yusuf Buratai. As I'm making this video, I want to let you know that I'm highly disappointed in your command. You should call yourself a coward, a traitor, and a betrayer to the Nigerian as a whole. I don't care what you do. You may think you are God. You may try to kill me. You may try to do this. But I'm that business with you because you are no more loyal. You cannot earn my loyalty with what you are doing. You cannot earn my loyalty. The CDS, Chief of Defense Staff, I am highly disappointed in you. I am highly disappointed in you in the sense that you are the chief of defense staff. The army, the navy, the air force, they are under you. You are the piloter of this to bring out the structure of the military. You have failed. To the extent you are even collecting command from ECOWAS, all in the name of loyalty and cabals. I know after this video, you may come, you want to arrest me, you want to do this. Be know that I'm guided by the Constitution. You cannot just come and arrest me. I'm ready to face court martial. And my court martial must be open to the whole Nigerians to know. I'm calling on all the independent lawyers to stand by me because this is a matter of urgency. People are dying too much. You should be ashamed of yourself, you that call yourself Chief of Army Staff, Buratai, and the Chief of Air Staff, the Chief of National Security Advisor, NSA, retired General Mungunu. You are supposed to be ashamed of yourself. The Minister of Defense, you're supposed to be ashamed of yourself because you are all from the north. It is the north they are suffering now. The north are dying for nothing. I am a middle belt, but I am a Nigerian and I am concerned Nigerian. I will not say because I'm not from north, then it is not my concern. No. People are trying to leave this country. People are frustrated in this country. Most soldiers will tell you, you want to die for this country. This country is not worth dying for. Lies. This country is worth dying for if you know the potentials we are carrying. Nigeria, this 2020, you are hearing Vision 2020 is all about Nigeria. Vision 2020 is telling the world that Nigeria is supposed to be the most richest country in the world. American, they know. They use their octopus to find out, which is their oracle, and they now encourage you to be Christian. Say they are serving what? Most of the white, they don't even go to church. They have their own deities that they are worshiping, which they stole from we the Africans. People should be wise. Follow your own. That is our problem of Nigeria. That is just our problem. We cannot continue to keep quiet while people are dying. You people are from the north. The president appointed you so that you can end this war. I know this battle has been hijacked by the cabals. But who are these cabals? Are they God? Are they not human beings? Both retired and 7 generals. You people should be ashamed of yourself. You people need to be ashamed of yourself because why? You have failed in delivering as a general. You have failed in delivering as a uniform man. This uniform we are wearing, we are supposed to die for it because it carries the whole color of the nation. You people just believe that all these designs are just for nothing. This thing is telling you, look at all the whole map of the country is on your shoulder. You have to protect it with your life. Guide it with your life. Then why are you afraid? Why did you join the army if you are afraid to die? Why did you join the army? You just joined to enjoy, to be entering the entry. You people are always against other rank enjoying. We don't have problem with us. We are ready to serve this country, but give us what we want. You people lock up innocent soldiers. They are suffering for long now. Nobody care about them. Because why? They ask for weapon. Okay, you give me weapon, no bullets. I'll be full and in my use and do walking stick. Every problem now. Now lock them for Gatru. They deal with the ground, they suffer for Abuja for years. Nobody they talk. Only Falana, the senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, is the only man that stand. He's only trying. I don't know whether other lawyers are still trying for army, for these innocent people. But he's the only man. I follow his page and see that he is ready, willing to fight, to die for these soldiers because he knows our words. He knows what we are doing. He's committed. I'm calling on all the independent lawyers in the whole Nigeria to stand for me because I'm going to sue the military. I'm suing the army to court. I will sue army to International Criminal Court. I will sue President Buhari to International Criminal Court. I'm making this official because I'm going to do it paperly. But if I do it paperly without doing official first, something may happen. They may try to silence me because why? They don't want me to come out with the truth. This country have suffered too much that we don't just have to keep quiet and watch anymore. I am a citizen of this country. I laugh when I hear people say, man, you know, go wrong. Even some of my friends, Julie, they tried it for me. They feel pity for me. They say, Kai, they can contribute money for me so that they would fly me out of the country. But I look at them and say, I laugh at these people. You want to fly somebody that's supposed to save your life. Suppose they're supposed to stand for this country to save your life. You are flying him to go and enjoy his life in another man's country while his country is wallowing in pain and agony. Though they are concerned because they see the way our colleagues are dying every day. A soldier will die. Now, to collect for his family, the wife to collect benefits, the army, is either the clerk or whatever, will want to sleep with the wife first before they will give you the benefit. Some clerks are good. Yes, I will not say all, but they know themselves. We are painting army black in many of our selfish color. We need to restructure this army. If given my life, we restructure this army, because if this army is restructured, Nigeria will be peaceful. Because why? No politician can manipulate the military.
You're criticizing the service chiefs by name. These are the types of things that we're hearing from within the army. And we've also heard the National Assembly raise their concerns about the welfare and equipment of members of the armed forces. The House of Reps says they're launching an inquiry into retirements in the army because they've heard that it was happening because of low morale. Meanwhile, the lawmakers have also called on the service chiefs to resign. So you can see there are lots and lots and lots of comments and commentary coming out about the Nigerian military, lots of heat directed at the military. But this is hard facts. We don't just hear one side of things, and I don't believe that you can give somebody a haircut if he isn't in the room. So I wanted to hear from the army. And I reached out to Colonel Sagir Musa, the spokesman of the Nigerian Army. He was very willing to speak to us at Nigeria Info about how the Army Command sees the situation of things. He did, however, say that I was limited to asking only 3 questions, and he said he wasn't going to address anything that the National Assembly had to say. So here's the conversation that we had. The first thing I want to talk about is the report about 365 soldiers of the Nigerian Army being slated for retirement. A lot of people, different people actually, not a lot of people, different people have suggested different reasons for this mass retirement. What is the Army's official position on it?
The issue of the soldiers that have gone for retirement is not new. There are laid down rules and regulations in the terms and conditions of service for both officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army. Joining the Nigerian Army is not by force. And when you are due to retire, all of us, we know the time we will retire. When you reach, for example, a mandatory period of 35 years as a soldier or as an officer, you must have to go on retirement. If you are physically unfit, you know within yourself. Even if you don't want to go, but the medical board of the Nigerian Army certify you incapable of continuing to work as a soldier, you have to go on retirement, even if you didn't reach the mandatory period. On health ground, you apply to go. So these are some of the reasons that you can go on retirement. On disciplinary ground, you could as well be retired. You know, I remember there is no much brouhaha. There is no need for it. There is no need for this issue to generate any tension in Nigeria. Just recently, over 4,500 pass out from Depot NA, joining the army formally, and more are looking to join. So there is no issue. Every year, on a periodic basis, we do have retirement in the armed forces, not necessarily in the army. So all those people, all those discussions that I have seen, people saying they are moving due to lack of interest, they are running away from northeastern part of Nigeria, war of Boko Haram, all these talks are mere insinuations.
Okay.
There are occasions when more than that number have gone for retirement longer time ago. So what is the issue here?
Okay. So we also have seen a number of videos come out from members of the Nigerian military, right? Some of these videos have criticized the Nigerian army. We have, for instance, a video showing Lance Corporal Martins Ezekwesili last month criticizing the Army High Command and claiming that soldiers are not getting quality weapons and welfare. Do you have any comments about that video, about Lance Corporal Ezekwesili?
I am not addressing any video here, but I'm addressing the comments you raised. In terms of welfare of the Nigerian army, I would want to tell you and members of the public that Nigerian army personnel have never gotten it so well throughout the history of the Nigerian army for over 157 years of its existence, like what we are having during this time. We are really motivated. Our welfare packages are good. Remember, not long ago, the federal government, the army leadership as well, increased salaries and allowances of Nigerian army personnel. Just recently. So how can anybody convince me that our welfare is low or is bad? People are just being mischievous. And it's only very few. If you see any video from any of the soldiers, it's being used. Out of thousands of soldiers, when you hear one bad egg or 2 or 3 cases of this kind of nature, it's not enough to disqualify the good things being done, welfare-wise, professionally-wise, by the leadership of the Nigerian army and by the federal government of Nigeria.
The Premium Times is reporting that Adeniyi, who was previously in charge of Operation Lafia Dole, Adeniyi has been resigned again, this time to Army headquarters for, quote, jurisdiction, which means a court-martial. Can you confirm or deny that?
Well, all I will tell you is that I know there is postings. Recently there was posting in the army. I issued a press release to that effect. And whoever is posted, wherever one is posted, there is nothing unusual or abnormal about it. It has happened before and it will happen in the future. Posting is routine, regular administrative exercise, reinvigorating the army for enhanced professional productivity for the sake of the country. So if anybody mischievously is giving any negative insinuation to it, that is his own cup of tea. But we know at the level of Nigerian army leadership, whatever decision we have taken is for the best interest of the service and for the best interest of Nigeria.
I see. My final question, and then I'll let you go. Some observers are suggesting that
I'm giving you 3 questions.
No, this one is actually for you. This one is for you.
No.
This one is for you, sir. This is for you.
Okay.
Because the army, some people are suggesting that the army is not communicative enough about its operations, right? So it gives room for people to paint the army negatively. And since we've started this conversation, you have said that people are mischievous, people are using these videos for their own a private agenda. How do you strike the balance between keeping Nigerians informed while not jeopardizing operations through too much openness?
Well, again, for the last, since 157 years of Nigerian Army's existence, there has never been a leadership of the Nigerian Army that is so open, so transparent, information-wise, as to the operations of the Nigerian Army like the present leadership of the Army. Nobody can take that from us. We do issue press releases. We do place it on our website, on our Facebook, personal and official, just to inform members of the public. Members of the press are widely being invited to attend our conferences, press releases, press conferences, as the case may be. So I'm wondering how, why should anybody think that we are not open, despite all this? Do you want to us, whatever we are doing, even where it requires secrecy, we should call members of the press? I think the press and the public should do us some good by commending the efforts of Nigerian Army leadership in terms of giving information to the public as regards our operation and other activities.
All right, Sagir Musa, thank you so much for giving us your time on Hard Facts.
You're welcome.
All right, bye. So there you had the Army spokesperson, Colonel Sagir Musa, answering some of the questions raised by these comments from both inside and outside the Army. And I want you to know what you think about his answers and about the situation in general. Because here's the thing, we rely on the Army to keep us alive. They're fighting Boko Haram in the northeast. They're fighting bandits in north central. They've even joined the police to check kidnappers. These groups are already massacring innocent Nigerians every day, and if the army were not there to fight them, they would massacre even more innocent Nigerians. So it's in all our interests to make sure that the soldiers have everything they need to get the job done. So I'm talking about weapons and ammunition. I'm talking about equipment and vehicles. I'm talking about elite training so that they can use these things properly. I'm talking about proper salaries and welfare packages to keep them motivated. So whenever we hear troops from within the armed forces complain about any of these things, it's in our best interests as the people being kept alive by the armed forces to ask questions and find out what's really going on. So as you've heard, I've asked Colonel Sagir Musa those questions and he has answered. Now I want to hear what you think. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75805. Tweet at us at Nigeria Info FM. Send us a post on Facebook where we streamed those videos live. Nigeria Info 99.3. We have a special number 0700-993-993-993.
It's okay. That is okay. Let me explain. No, it's okay. Let me explain. It's okay. She off your mic.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info, your mic is always on. Let's talk.
Tune in to Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili.
I'm so humbled to hear that 570,000 of you tune in to listen to this show every day.
Leading the conversation that affects you.
Hello, sir. Thanks for calling.
I'm an ex-soldier, Sandra. I was in the battalion.
Okay.
And I was fighting, I was shooting. One of our soldiers shot me, Sandra, on my ribs.
Oh, my
Sandra.
God.
Tune in to Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on your number one station for talk, 99.3 Nigeria Info.
It's 27 minutes to 6. Lagos, let's talk. What do you think about what the army spokesperson, Colonel Sagir Musa, had to say? He said soldier welfare right now is the best it has ever been in the history of the army. Do you agree? He also said most of these complaints that we are hearing are simply from a disgruntled minority. What do you think about that? We've got Frank. Frank, where are you calling us from? Hello, Frank. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ojo.
Oh, okay. Good to have you on the show. Go ahead.
Auntie Sandra, how are you?
Very well. How are you?
Fine. Good evening.
Good evening. What do you think about what Sagir Musa had to say?
You see, I like the idea of what he's trying to do. And if there is any means we will support him, we are going to support him. Nigeria as a whole is not fighting any Boko Haram. Because last time you heard of when they said they cast some Boko Haram and many of them were trying to push them down to abroad to teach them. And then some soldiers came out and tell the Nigerians that the way they are treating those people, that them themselves, they are not getting half of the treatment they are treating those people, giving them nice food and nice apartments. Have you heard of anywhere where they say that Nigerian soldiers kill Boko Haram? All those things were news. It is not, but you hear when Boko Haram will kill thousands of soldiers. Let them stop saying that they are fighting Boko Haram. There are somewhere in Enugu where they catch some people there. Did you know that it's not up to 2 hours? A phone call came and said if anything happened to those people, that the entire village is going to be wiped out. They have to release those people. They just go.
Who caught which people where?
A phone call came at Enugu. They get some people at Enugu.
Who got which people in Enugu?
There is security. There is vigilante.
Vigilante got which people in Enugu?
Boko Haram.
In Enugu.
They were trying to beat them or to do one thing or the other to them.
Where did
the phone call came.
Where did you hear this story?
Let me tell you. This is a live story.
Where did you hear this story?
I'm telling you this is what, if they are saying, you people will be believing it. But if we are telling you people what is happening, you people will not believe it.
I'm just asking you where you heard the story. It's a simple question. Where did you hear the story?
You know something that happened here in Nigeria?
Okay, where did you hear it? Who did you hear it from? Were you there?
This is what happened. This is what happened. It's not what I heard. This is what happened.
Were you there? Okay, so you were there. You were in the village when it happened.
If you don't want me to speak, I will just drop my call.
I'm actually asking you to speak. I'm asking you to speak. I'm asking you questions to clarify what you're saying exactly. Were you there when this thing happened?
That you know that this did not happen. It happened is where I am telling you.
Exactly. How do you know that it happened? Were you there?
I'm telling you that Nigerians are not.
Thank you for calling me, Frank. Were you there? It's a simple question. Were you there? How do you know that this happened? Anybody can call me on Nigeria Info and claim anything. How do you know that what you're saying happened? Emperor in Lekki, hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, we are debating my friend, that you interrupted the army spokesman. He was not done. Because I don't know if you can explain the last statement he made. He said, is he Yewa or whatever? Yeah. What does that mean? Did he end the conversation or interrupted him?
He ended the conversation. What's the point of this question? He ended the conversation. You heard me say thank you so much for your time, and he said Yewa. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, my question is this. The general that you referred to, I was going to face court-martial now. You know, in the military, before you could reach that rank, your integrity and your personality must have been tested. And I saw the diplomatic way that the spokesman of the army handled that issue. Is he saying that all of a sudden somebody that got to the rank of a general in Nigerian army just developed wings of being mischievous to mislead the public? Because if you put one plus one together, it's not giving us the answer he's portraying. And I can't just imagine people who took oaths to serve Nigeria, to lay down their lives, because of the battle against Boko Haram, they will start becoming mischievous by making videos to castigate the Nigerian army. I don't think it's really the picture. And he gave you only 3 questions or whatever. I thought in this conversation would have heard about the Nigerian armies that were ambushed, killed. Some of the news, we saw it in foreign news, not on Nigerian televisions and paper. I thought he would have, answer questions about how come and what is the army doing to prevent such things from happening.
Well,
because we are losing our soldiers, and we are not actually happy that these husbands, cousins, uncles are just dying.
Well, hopefully we're going to have him back and he'll be available to answer more than 3 questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. We've got David on... David, welcome to the show.
Good evening, Sandra.
Good evening.
How are you?
Very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine too. So I just listened to the Army PRO that you spoke with. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, but like you said, his defense was that the army or military personnel have never been treated better than this present time since they were set up.
Mm-hmm.
But what we actually want him to answer to is that when we are facing an enemy, is the enemy having a superior fighting material more than our own Nigerian soldiers? Boko Haram, for that matter. It is true that the civilization has come in. What Nigerian army was, the money you are spending on them in about 100 and something years he was quoting, cannot be the same now. Definitely it will be higher. But what we are saying is that our military men, when you take them to the war front, they must be better equipped. They must have the best equipment more than the enemy. Hello?
I can hear you.
So this is what we want him to give answer to.
Well, before the interview, he said, you have only 3 questions. You can only ask me 3 questions. And so we asked 3 of the most burning questions in the country at the moment, because Lance Corporal Idegbani is currently under arrest, is currently in trouble because of that video that he made. And the House of the National Assembly specifically spoke about 366 soldiers who retired, and specifically talked about the fact that they're going to probe the military because of these soldiers who are retiring on grounds that they think cover things like morale, welfare, equipment, things like that. Those were the most burning issues. When you have only opportunity to ask 3 questions, you ask questions about the most burning issues.
It's unacceptable. they are Nigerian soldiers. When we are asking questions, they must provide answers.
That's fair, but if somebody gives you time to ask only 3 questions, you can't exactly pack all the issues into 3 questions. So I think the bigger issue is hopefully he comes back on the show and is live on the show, and we can ask more than 3 questions.
Let we Nigeria asking questions.
Yes, I agree with you, David.
He has to come. Is the spokesperson for the military.
Yes.
Let us ask him questions and he gives answers to them.
Thank you for calling. We've got Emeka on the line in Badagry. Hello, Emeka.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to ask about the women's game.
99.3.
Hello.
How are you, sir? What's your name?
My name is Uche. Good evening.
Good evening, Uche.
Sandra, please, there's something that you did I don't like. I want to encourage the impression. The man that called on radio that was telling you about what happened in Enugu, before that man could stand his gun to say what he saw, what he heard, that means there must be a very big proof.
No, people make up things all the time. No. People make up things all the time. When you call me and you make a claim, I will question that claim. And if you're not making up that claim, you're going to tell me details of that claim. The man could not answer the story of where he read that story, where he heard that story, if he was there, like who he heard it from. Simple questions I was asking. I wasn't attacking him. I was asking him simple questions. If you don't want the claims that you make to be checked, then don't call a national radio station and make the claims. It's simple.
But there are a lot of things we heard, we complain on radio. Most of them we are not there, but there are some facts about it.
Exactly. So I was asking for the hard facts about this particular story. I have never heard this story, and I wanted him to tell me the hard facts, and he got angry. I can't. What am I supposed to do there?
Okay, because I just felt that before the man could open up.
Anybody can sit down and concoct anything. You're on WhatsApp. You received a lot of fake news on WhatsApp, and people believed that those fake news. People sat down and said that they should drink salt water to cure Ebola, for crying out loud, and they said it with their chest. So if you don't question every single thing, even the Bible tells you to test the spirit. If you don't question every single thing, you're going to just keep walking around, like somebody without information, and that's not what hard facts is about.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks for calling. We've got WhatsApp 080-959-75805. Paul says that Colonel Musa has given you the apt answers to your questions. What do you mean by lack of communication? Do you expect the army to reveal their operation plans to the press? Never. All right, Paul, thank you for sending that message in. We've got this person who says, Sandra, why will a Nigeria military spokesperson give conditions for the amount of questions you should ask? Chimobi from White Sand is asking that question. Well, it depends on how much time the person has on their hands. My name is Kamal. Sandra, the so-called insurgents are not sleeping. They're also listening to and watching and monitoring the media for possible clues on the Nigeria's army's dispositions. This is a war, for God's sake. Please also advise listeners to be less ethnocentric, as it is not a way out of our problem. Thank you. Thank you, Kamal, for sending that message in. Sandra, what that man means is the armed herdsmen that killed farmers in Enugu. It was news items some months ago. So there's a difference between Boko Haram and arms and herdsmen. We've got somebody who said, what an interview. Was that a public servant? It sounded like you were the public servant speaking to Anoga at the top. Nigerians need to turn off foreign TV and stop expecting things to be done here like it is in developed countries. It's not in our blood. It is not who we are. And this person also says, hang up on callers who calling with them say information. Well, thank you so much for calling. You didn't leave your name, for sending a message on WhatsApp. You didn't leave your name, though. We've got somebody who says, Sandra, I don't agree with your guess. Most of the things that you're asking the man, he's just dodging your questions. Sandra, he's even afraid to speak out simply because he knows what's going to happen. Everybody's afraid. This is why the army cannot get solid information in all the atrocities being committed across the country. Because if you speak out, your life will be in danger. Ezekiel from Festac sent that message in. Sandra, General Adeni knew he made a mistake. Immediately the video got leaked. On the other hand, The soldier who shot the second video is a coward. You don't do that in the military. Ibukunle from Lucky Fiber says. Okay, we've got more messages. Ahmed from Apapa. Ahmed from Apapa, we're not talking about Akpabio, okay? But Tunke from Ogijo says, what is happening in Nigeria right now is not just about the armed forces doing the right thing. The foundation of Nigeria is wrong, and we must address that. The country must be restructured so that we can take ownership of it. How can it be that somebody from Kaduna is the owner? How are we talking about that? Okay. All right, let's stay on the topic, shall we? Bass from Texas says Nigerians are too bothered by irrelevant issues, trying to confirm what another speaker has said. Go straight to the point and attack the issue on the ground. I agree with you, Bass. We've got Chris from Okokomaiko on the line. Hello, Chris.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for calling.
Sandra, a good job. But I will equally encourage you if you can. Maybe possibly in a subsequent edition of Hard Facts, invite a possible low army officer, possibly that a recruit or a sergeant. So that because you did mention of striking the balance between the army hierarchy
and I struck the balance between playing you the video of a general and the video of a lance corporal, and then played you an interview with the spokesperson of the army.
One them white, look, please don't get me wrong. For me personally, the balance is not complete because what I saw from the man you introduced, the army spokesman is too economical about the truth. Find the people that are receiving that welfare because them that are those people who are in the headquarters, I believe they are getting every package that is being meant for them. But how about the real people who are in the battlefront? Find one of them, even if the person chooses to speak in a position of anonymity, no problem. It's well taken. But let us get the balance. Sincerely, sincerely, two people cannot be lying at the same time. General Benny and the man you played his video. I don't think two of them can be lying at the same time.
But you just said there was no balance. So why are you now quoting General Terry and Lance Corporal Dekbani?
Let us have maybe another person, honestly, because the man he just tried to dodge some of the questions you threw at him.
So would it matter? Would it matter if we had four people saying the same thing? If the PRO of the army says those people are a few disgruntled people in the army, a disgruntled minority, if he says that, will we still say it's not balanced because you don't have enough people?
Yeah, if we have more people, I believe personally. At least it will trigger more. Many people will believe it more, honestly, because look at it. He's saying that some people are being mischievous, calling them so many bad names, which is uncalled for.
So if he says some people are being mischievous, it tells you that a lot more than two people have made videos or made public comments about their conditions, their welfare in the army. When I talked about this on Monday, was it last week? Sorry, last week. When we talked about this last week, we had several soldiers calling to the show with their experiences. So today we played two videos plus the other experiences we've heard about, and that's still not balanced enough.
So okay. What does that now tell us? Which means either way. Which means the man is actually trying to dodge the truth. That is the truth. He's trying to dodge the truth. That is how I see it. Sincerely speaking, because I have an army friend, and honestly speaking, from what this man just said, it's the total opposite of what my friend had been telling me about. Honestly, so I really feel so much. I feel so sorry for them, honestly. That is it. That is the country we are. Where the higher and mighty go about. Doing what they choose to do. Where do the lower ones? Go to suffer. Honestly speaking, it's appalling anyway. However, good job, Good job.
Thank you, Chris, for calling. Like I said, when I started this conversation, we rely on the army to keep us alive, right? The army is fighting Boko Haram in the northeast. They're fighting bandits in the north central. They have even joined the police to check kidnappers. If the army isn't there to fight the different groups massacring Nigerians every day, way more Nigerians would be dead. right? So it's in all our interests to make sure that the soldiers have everything they need to get the job done. Welfare, weapons, ammunition, equipment, vehicles, elite training, so that they can use these things properly. Proper salaries as well. Proper welfare to keep them motivated. So whenever we hear troops within the armed forces complain about any of these, it's in our best interests as the people are keeping alive to ask questions and find out what's really going on. This is not one of those things that we also allow God to come and handle. Now, I want to talk about what Major General Olusegun said. A lot of controversy about what happened to him. Played you the clip where he was reporting to us about the situation on ground. Now, official situation report from the field. Nothing wrong with that. He was speaking freely with them since it was an internal communication. But it was leaked. Now, there's been some debate about how it leaked. Adeniyi says it wasn't him that leaked it. It was one of his aides. But either ways, it was leaked. And we, the public, got to see it. And almost immediately after it was leaked, Adeniyi was reassigned. He was removed from command of Operation Lafia Dole. And he was posted to a training position in Abuja. And a lot of the commentators and analysts suggested at the time that this was a punishment for that video leaking. And you heard me ask Colonel Musa about the Premium Times report that Adeniyi is being reassigned again, and that this time it's for a court-martial. And you heard Colonel Musa's response to me about that. He said, it's just a routine posting, and some mischievous people are simply trying to create a controversy where one doesn't exist. And I also want to know what you think about that. And I mentioned earlier on that we have the National Assembly who have called on the service chiefs to resign. This is not the first time, of course. Previously, they asked the president to sack the service chiefs. And of course, he did not do that at the time. And some commentators find it interesting that even though the service chiefs are still in their jobs, commanding the counterinsurgency, Major General Adeniyi is not. 0700-993-993. Oh, look at that. We don't even have the time to take more calls. But I think I'm just going to go to WhatsApp where we have tons and tons of comments, and I'll take messages from there. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. We've got... this person who says, you don't expect an army spokesman to speak against his institution. We're civilians. That is the reason most of us are expecting him to tell us everything. Although the army is facing the most challenging era in their history, we need to support them. Boko Haram are within us, but we are protecting them. That is the case in the north. The people haven't had enough in that region. That's why. Gege Joshua from Butemeta claims. Sandra, I really liked the way you responded to Emeka's allegations, claiming that Boko Haram was caught in the eastern part of the country. But that's by the way. Do you know that the military is a secret service firm, so they are not at liberty to share some of the vital information they gather? Matthew from Ikeja says. Matthew, thanks for sending your message. Idris says, I'm opportune to attend a military school for my primary and secondary education, and I can say I understand a little about the military. The only people in the army who enjoy a good welfare are the highly ranked officers, while the junior officers live in penury. Go to any military barracks in Nigeria and you have a first-hand experience. We've got more comments here. Sandra, even some of these listeners have a problem. They don't understand simple things. You can see them asking you to balance the program. I don't understand the way we think in this country. Another message from Ibi Kunle. Sandra, is it possible where you are being catered for, pampered, giving good welfare, you will resign earlier before your due time? You heard the sniper that called in. He sent video evidence of how he was shot in the theater. Lots of conspiracies, traitors in the Nigerian army. It's been operated like an open cult. Lots of army have died in a theater while the high-ranking officers are living fat in air-conditioned apartments in Abuja. All right, that's all we have time for. But we have time for more conversation on the other side of 6 o'clock. We're bringing you the news at 6. And after that news at 6, we will bring you I Beg to Differ. It hasn't happened in a minute because sports has been in control of my air. But I've kicked them out now. And so it's me and you after the news at 6. Let's talk some more about this 6% tax thing for rent. Have you heard about it? Yes, we now have to pay 6% stamp duty for our house, in addition to our house rent. I'll tell you more about that after the news at 6. You're listening to Hard Facts. I am Sandra Ezekwesili.
This is Hard Facts.